All right, Shalom again. Yeah, so the video seems like it cut out. So I'll just do a continuation here, right? So, as I was mentioning, we do, battle the flesh. The flesh is like an enemy. We're in chains of darkness. It is a punishment unto us, right? And rightly so, because of everything that the Lord, intends to put us through. It's all going to make sense in the kingdom. Yes, we know the curses. We are under the curses, of course. However, it's a much bigger picture. When we're in the kingdom, when you go through things, experience teaches. You appreciate things more. The feeling of appreciation is something that we're going to have in the kingdom. We have never experienced it. So, and the understanding that we're going to have in the kingdom, right, is something that we've never experienced on this side either. So when we go into the kingdom, we won't have to be dealing with, poverty, hunger, wondering if we're going to be able to pay our rent or pay off our car or take care of our children. No, that's going to be a thing of the past, because everything passeth away. All of the things, the things that people hold in high esteem here, poverty, riches on this side, all of that's going to pass away. It's going to be a new heaven and a new earth, which is my favorite precept, right? I can probably just close there. This wasn't meant to be a long video, but the Lord didn't put his elect on earth this time to be bag chasers and dream chasers, right? That's a thing for the 2/3, but it doesn't mean that we cannot try to do certain things through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. Of course, it doesn't mean that, but the mindset, we have to be in the mindset to know, everything here is going to pass away. Everything that vexes our spirit, everything that's vain. We only look for profitable things. That's why we preach the word, of course, because the Lord has appointed us to do that. And also we tell people what to expect. We tell people to expect, the saints ruling the kingdom, renewing things on earth in righteousness. So this is 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 12, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Yes, so everything here in Babylon the Great, and the other appointed, points of destruction, right? Because it's not just going to be Babylon the Great, but Babylon the Great, the whore of the world, the capital of dreams. Everyone wants to go to America and chase their dreams and be successful. All of that is going to be destroyed, with fervent heat. And it says, verse 13, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, where dwell in righteousness. And I'm telling you, only the elect is looking forward to this sincerely, because we truly understand what it means, what a new heaven and a new earth actually mean, where righteousness will be dwelling. We're going to live in a perfect world. We're going to live in perfection, and that's going to be an example to the heathen, and we're going to teach them and correct them, because they won't be like us. They'll be in a position that we're currently in now, in the sense that we make mistakes, we fuck up, we sin, right? Because sin is a transgression of the law, but the law of the world will be the Israelites' law, right? So we will teach them righteousness. We will correct them, because when they do foolishness, when they do fuckery, we're going to beat them. We're going to beat them with a rod of iron, a rod of correction. We're going to teach them how to be righteous, because they're not the righteous. However, we're going to be made perfect, sinless, and superhumans, like you see in these animations, these TV shows, right? This is something that's going to be a reality. We're going to be in the new covenant in the kingdom. So new earth, new heaven, new covenant, righteousness, Israelites living in righteousness. Israelite men returning to their glory, Israelite women returning to their glory, Israelite children returning to their glory, right? Okay? So that's the point, man. We just got to remember, man, the Lord did not put us on earth to be dream chasers, man. Okay? You got to remember that. So if the Lord puts you in certain positions, you also have to remember that as well, because there can be something else the Lord has in store for you, but it's important for you not to have that mindset, of like, oh, we're gonna do this, gonna do that. No, 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 no. If the Lord allows, if the Lord wants that for you, that's how you should look at it, right? Because things are not always how you plan it out to be. Things might turn out for the better. It could be better than you thought, or it can just be not what you expected. It could be a learning curve or whatever it may be. Just take it cheerfully, because who cares? All of this is vain, vanity. Everything that we go through, it may be rough. We all go through shit, man. We all go through hell, but all of that is going to pass away. We all go through pains in the flesh as well, sicknesses or injuries. We all go through tough times. I'm not here talking like it doesn't get to you in the flesh, but it all will pass away, because Yahweh Hashem Shai, our power that feeds the birds, even though the birds don't have our capacity or our ability, and to get food and do certain things, the Lord takes care of them. Or what more so us? What more so us, right? So sometimes we just gotta relax. Don't freak out too much. Don't worry too much. Even in the worst situations, man. Always remember that the Lord has men as well, around us, everywhere, we are. If you're in this truth, if you're a man of the Lord, to speak to. That's charity, to lift you up. The Lord speaks through his men to help you, even if it's financially or whatever it may be, food, whatever you need. The Lord has set all of that up. So at the end of the day, man, only thing that we really should be tracing is to please Yahweh Hashem Shai, and also to preach his word, to do his work, right? So with that, as always, all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rukahakwatash. Death to Babylon, Abad Babal. Shalom.